just like in your phone's notification shade, you can swipe a card away to remove it from your stream. Let's take a look at Jeff's phone, and that notification has disappeared. Back at the watch face, pressing and holding lets you choose a different one. You can see that there's a broad selection of analog and digital designs in a variety of styles to suit your tastes. Okay, now that we're acquainted with the overall UI model, let's see how Androidwear can work for you. Imagine that Jeff has just got up in the morning. He swipes up and sees the weather forecast for the day. His commute's not looking too bad. And, oh look Jeff, I guess you need that package for your trip to Brazil. You better not forget to pick it up.
Okay, Google. Remind me to check my mailbox when I get home.
Now, if we can see Jeff's phone at the same time, you'll see this is immediately synced across. And in this case, his watch was smart enough to know where home is. A little later on, as Jeff is arriving at the office, his watch vibrates again with a chat message from one of the team. He can see who it's from and what he's saying, all without having to fumble around and get out his phone. Your watch and your phone stay in sync. When you swipe away a notification on the watch, it disappears from the phone, as Jeff is showing now. Super convenient. And apps will stay in sync too. While Jeff is making his lunch, he finds it really hard to get the last peanut butter out of the jar. And he comes up with an idea, possibly a very brilliant one, that he wants to remember.
Take a note, double-sided peanut butter jar.
Now watch his phone. We'll try that one more time.
Take a note, double-sided peanut butter jar.
I guess the universe doesn't want there to be a double-sided peanut butter jar after all. So, moving along, that note would have been saved immediately to his phone, and he can get on with his lunch. In the evening, Jeff is having dinner with a friend at a restaurant. If he's unfamiliar with one of the ingredients in the menu, he can just say,
"What is Limburger?"
So it looks like Limburger is a type of cheese. Jeff is lactose intolerant, so he'd better order something different, or this dinner could go wrong. And when Jeff receives a phone call, his watch will vibrate, and he can see who's calling at a glance. It's another one of Jeff's co-workers. Now, Jeff could get out his phone to answer, but since he's busy, he can either swipe to reject the call from his wrist, or swipe up to choose from one of these quick SMS replies. His phone sends the SMS, and he's done. Sometimes you're enjoying dinner so much that you want to avoid any more interruptions. And for that, you can set Do Not Disturb with a single downward swipe from the top of the screen. And now Jeff's watch won't buzz again until he wants it to. Later that night, Jeff arrives home. Well, that's right, your package is here. Now that he's at home, the reminder that Jeff created this morning is triggered. You can also use Android wearables to control other devices around you. Let's listen up with a bit of music.
Play some music.
Now you'll see that Jeff has music controls on his watch. He can see what song is playing, he can pause the music or skip to the next track. And while it's playing, the album art is beautifully displayed right there on his wrist. Finally, at the end of the day, it's time for bed.
Set an alarm for 7 a.m.
With glanceable notifications and quick voice actions, Androidwear gives you what you need right when you need it. Let's take a closer look at some of the contextual information that Androidwear provides when you're traveling. So Jeff's about to leave on that big trip to the World Cup. It's the morning of his flight, so his phone is already displaying relevant information for his trip. You can see his flight status, and even show his boarding pass.
Wow.
His hotel address will be there when he needs it, and he knows whether or not he'll need to pack an umbrella. It does look like it's going to rain in Brazil on Friday. And once he's in Brazil, Androidwear continues to give him useful, timely information at a glance. Whether it's his restaurant reservation, the time back at home so he knows when to call his family, or the local bus schedule. And while he's walking around the city, Jeff can see how many steps he's taken today, along with a step count history for the week. On devices that support it, he can even check his heart rate after a jog. So we've shown you what Androidwear can do out of the box. We're even more excited to see what developers